It's funny though because I still have like a primal urge to reproduce that comes out every once in a while, you know? Like I remember I was a few months ago, I was very, very sick and I had a really bad fever and I was lying in bed with a fever and I was just like, I told my girlfriend, I was like, bring me my son. Give him my USB stick, it has all my saved games on it. Tell him to continue my legacy. She was like, I will get you an Advil. I'll do that. I mean, it's a lot. A kid is a huge decision to make. It's a lot of financial and emotional resources to spend, and you never know how the kid's going to turn out. It's kind of a huge gamble. Imagine spending all this money and time raising a kid, and they just grow up to be a comedian. Like, my God. What a disaster. I'm very lucky. I have a very lovely partner that I live with in Vancouver. Partner is a very millennial term. We invented that term. We can take that for ourselves. The millennials, we invented partner, and I love it. I love the term partner. I remember when I was in high school, I thought it would be really nice to have a girlfriend. And then when I graduated and saw how expensive everything was, I was like, I need a partner. I definitely need a partner for this. Like it's kind of romantic too. It's kind of a romantic term. It's almost like, it implies like if I go down, you go down with me. Like, let's go out of business together. But yeah, I have a very lovely partner. She's very nice, and we took a long time to get together. It was like a long process before we eventually committed to a relationship. And I think that is a smart, cautious way to go. Relationships are very scary. I think they should be approached in the same way you would approach exploring an unexplored cave. You have to have the same system. You want to have like a constant contact with your friend group on the outside, and like you want to tie a rope around your waist and give it to all your best buds, and you just like slowly lower yourself into the relationship, maintaining constant contact with the surface. You just sort of start going into the cave, and you're like, what do you guys think of her? And they're like, dude, she's so cool. You should go another couple hundred feet in. You guys are awesome together. Well, we're about 300 feet down. There's a lot of bats down here, and there's a lot of bats. Oh my gosh. We'll save you. I think that's the way you should approach a relationship, but everybody's got that one friend that's like, is that a cave? And they just dive. You don't hear from them for 8 years? And then they wash up somewhere on the beach. They cough up a wedding ring like, what was that? I have many jobs. I work at a museum in Vancouver as well. That's very interesting, working at a museum. I work at the front desk. It's a very don't care job. It's amazing. I don't have to do anything there. I finished the whole internet last week. I got to the very bottom of the whole thing. Like, it's amazing working where there's no stakes, Like, I'd never try even slightly at my job. Some people approach the desk with like weird coupons. They're like, it's a 2 for 1, but there's 3 of us. I'm like, it's free for all of you. I can't do that math. Like that's, I'm not a genius. There's a couple awkward discounts I administer though. At the seniors discount, I know is awkward. You don't want to just assume someone's old. You don't want to have like a wrinkle scale in your head. And just assume someone is a senior, they might get offended. So I always ask, I might ask some leading questions to find out if they're old. I'll be like, hey, so do you own a house? And when they're like, oh, wow, I do actually. I'm like, well, it's also cheaper for you today as well. Wow, pretty great. The most awkward discount I administer, though, is definitely the discount for Indigenous people. They do not pay to go into the museum, but they don't advertise this at the front desk. So I'm stuck in a situation where I want to make sure Indigenous people don't pay to go in, but I also don't want to ask what race people are at the front desk. Because I look like I would do that. And like, I don't want to be sitting there like, oh, excuse me, sir, are you Indigenous? And he's like, oh, actually, no, I'm Mexican. I'm like, full price for Mexicans. I did my degree in music, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, sure, yeah. Oh, yeah, I will be poor forever. It's tough, you know. It's tough having a degree in music and applying for jobs because I always have to apply for, like, the lowest tier job at a place because I don't really have any skills, you know, and it's tough to not be sarcastic because a lot of these very low-level positions still want you to prove that you're like physically, spiritually, emotionally dedicated to this stupid job for money. And it can be very tough for me. I'll be sitting in an interview and they're like, so Myles, why do you want to work here? And I'm like, well, you know, in my 4th year of music school, I was listening to the late Beethoven string quartets and I was so deeply moved by the music that I realized my true calling in life is shipping and receiving, so... Yes, I am forklift certified. I do teach piano lessons as well. If you're interested, please let me know. And it's interesting teaching lots of different kids. I teach a lot of rich kids piano, and it's funny, you know, I can spot a rich kid from so far away. It's just crazy, because you just notice they look so healthy, like it's crazy. How healthy rich kids are. Like their hair is so full of vitamins and minerals. Like I wouldn't eat one, but I would like. But maybe like one bite. It's very hard to teach rich kids piano because they don't respect me at all because they know that their dad can buy and sell me. It's very hard to intimidate them, you know. And like I remember I was teaching this one kid, and he literally said, "Are we done here?" And I took a deep breath, and I was like, "How am I going to scare this kid into being afraid of me?" And I was like, "You know, you'll probably never actually see a mountain lion, but." Another kind of kid I teach. Public school kids can be very difficult to teach because they don't have any attention span. You know, they're not easy to scare either because they've been in Gen Pop for so long. I can't scare them into practice. I was teaching one public school kid something on the piano, and he just laughed in my face like the Joker. I was like, "Oh, you have to play here on the music," and then he was just like, I was like, "What is funny that happened?" And he was like, "Oh, nothing. I was just thinking about a YouTube video from earlier today." I was like, "You're watching YouTube right now in your brain? Like, can you put some piano lessons in there?" My favorite kids to teach, though, for sure, are homeschooled kids. It's just an absolute delight to teach homeschooled kids. They're very easy to intimidate. It usually goes something like this. I'll be like, "Have a seat at the piano, Abraham." Bless you and your waist-long hair. Now, I noticed you didn't practice last week, and if you don't practice this week, I'm gonna vaccinate you. I'll do it. I went to music school mostly because it was almost entirely paid for by the government. Not because I'm so good at the piano, it's because I am medically stupid. I'm actually so dumb, the government just paid for everything. It's incredible. It was a strange journey to get this. I was at a harmony class, like a music theory exam, and I did really badly on the test, and in the hallway, a bassoon professor approached me, and they were like, Myles, have you ever had your brain looked at? And that's a real low point in your life when a bassoon professor is like, you might be insane. And I was like, no. And then she was like, well, if they find you, you have some disabilities, you might be eligible for grant money. And I was like, I am scheduling an appointment right now, actually, as we speak. So I had an appointment with a neuropsychologist, and they did a 9-hour neuropsychological examination of me. And they asked me all sorts of bizarre questions. He was like, what are you most afraid of in life? And I was like, mountain lions for sure. And then he would write in his little notebook for a long time. And he was like, what are your plans for the future? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm only 24. And he was like, all right. And I had this whole exam. At the end of the exam, I got the results back, and he had them in a big, thick file. And he says, Myles, the results are in, and yeah, you're going to be getting that grant. Also, you may have an IQ as low as 86. How do you feel about this? And I was like, out of 100? So I got my grant, and I'm so happy, and I'm sitting at home, and I got a letter in the mail from the doctor, and it's an invoice for the exam. It's $2,000. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't know how I'm going to pay this. And I got so mad. I couldn't believe it was so expensive. I thought this was going to be paid for. I'm disabled. And I'm pacing around inside my grandma's house thinking about what the hell's going on. I began to question if this guy's a real doctor, that took a real brain exam, because I'm thinking, halfway through this exam, this guy should have been thinking to himself, there's no way Myles has $2,000. And by the end of the exam, he should have been realizing there's no way Myles will ever have $2,000. So I got it in my head. I said, you know what? I'm going to issue my own IQ exam for this doctor. It's my own test to him. My test is, can this smart doctor get $2,000 out of a man with an 86 IQ? And so far, it's been 10 years. So checkmate, Dr. Dum Dum.